Well, the Senate has moved forward and confirmed former Representative Doug Collins to lead the Department of Veteran Affairs on Tuesday. Um, Collins now has got the second highest vote of any Trump cabinet nominee so far. Doug Collins was able to win or receive the job with a vote of 77 to 23. Marco Rubio was the only nominee who scored higher. Marco Rubio got 99 to 0, and 0 people voted against him, and that vacancy was J.D. Vance's seat at the time. As you know, Doug Collins, he served as the Air Force Reserve chaplain and served in Congress from 2013 to 2021. He is most notably remembered for the fierce defense of Donald Trump during his first impeachment inquiry in 2019. That was earned him a spot in the second Trump administration because has been a very vocal supporter of the former president over the past 4 years that Trump was in exile from the White House and now has returned to the White House. He also now, as we know, when a nomination goes through the Senate, they have to go through the committee first. So Collins had to go through the Veterans Affairs Committee, and he passed on a very wide bipartisan vote. The only person to vote against him was the senator from Hawaii, Mazie Hirono, who just the lady is dumber than a box of rocks. I really hate to say that about a member of Congress, but she is just dumb as a box of rocks. You go look at some of these clips that have come out of her from inside of these hearings over the last 2 or 3 weeks. It is just absolutely ridiculous how out of touch this lady is. But now that Collins has been confirmed as the nominee or as the new head of the Department of Veteran Affairs, it is not going to be an easy feat for Collins now. He's going to have to head an agency that has many, many large budget shortfalls, that has had a lot of scandals recently where they've paid out millions of dollars to executives inside of the VA who weren't eligible to receive any of these benefits that they got, and lots of complaints from veterans about long wait time for care. Because, as Doug Collins said during his confirmation hearing, if a veteran has to reach out to their congressperson to get the appropriate care that they deserve, we have already failed. The VA has already failed. It is a disgrace. These people sacrificed their lives, their mental health, their physical health. They have sacrificed, they have put up the ultimate sacrifice. And every single one of them, whether they were injured, killed, or not, understood that there was a chance that they could be shipped overseas, that they could lose their lives in defense of the freedom that this nation provides the people back home. It is really a disgrace that people, veterans, are not receiving the proper care, and I am very hopeful that Doug Collins is going to be able to turn this around at the VA now. Any organization that employs hundreds of thousands of employees and is supposed to take care of millions and millions and millions of customers is difficult. It's not going to be easy, especially with, obviously the Department of Government Efficiency trying to figure out where they can cut costs. And I'm sure there are costs inside of the VA that could be cut. But ultimately, we need to take care of our veterans. We want to make sure that we are using the money as efficiently as possible, and that is exactly what we should be doing, and that's what Doug Collins should work with the Department of Government Efficiency to make sure that the money being spent in the VA budget is being spent as efficiently as possible. But if there are signs of waste, don't be afraid to go after it. Don't be afraid, because that money can be used to actually provide the support and the health care that these veterans truly deserve. And I think Collins understood going into this that it's not going to be all, peachy keen. It's not just going to be roses and rainbows and unicorns. Like, this is a large undertaking. And I think based on his confirmation here, he truly understands the depth of the situation and the depth of this undertaking that he'll be going into. Um, eh, you know, he was asked multiple times during his confirmation hearings about Trump's focus on budget cuts, and he gave a promise to multiple members that no budget would come or no budget cut would come at the expense of veteran care. He said, quote, "I'm going to take care of the veterans. That means we're not going to balance budgets on the back of veterans," which I absolutely agree with. I am very much a balanced budget. I want a balance. Personally, I have to have a balanced budget. That's the only way I mentally can operate. And the same thing goes for our federal government, our state government, and our local governments. We need to have balanced budgets or a healthy amount of debt. At the end of the day, the government provides services. They are not here to make a profit. They're here to provide services, the basic services that we have in our country. They are here to provide those services. And so there is a healthy amount of debt. But our debt has grown faster than our GDP has grown. At this point, we are not outgrowing our debt. But we're not going to pay down our debt at the expense of the people who paid the ultimate expense. Now, during Trump's first term, obviously we know Trump signed and pushed through the Mission Act, which allowed veterans choice for their health care. It allowed veterans to choose the VA or to get private care in the communities, which is absolutely huge. If the VA is not going to follow through, if they're not going to be able to provide the service and the care that is absolutely required for these people who paid the ultimate sacrifice, they must be able to go get healthcare services where they're going to be able to get it in a timely manner. That is just an absolutely must-have at this point. And he also promised during the hearings that he is not going to privatize the VA. That's kind of been a contention point, but he has promised and, quote, pinky swear that he will not do it, that he will not privatize the VA at this point. So I'm very excited to see what Doug Collins is going to do, what he has, what his plans are for the VA. This is going to be a big undertaking, but it sounds like he is prepared to go into this job and reform the VA for better over the next 4 years. Now, you can't expect that every little thing's going to be taken care of, but we do expect that big concerns are going to be addressed. Wait times, they absolutely need to be addressed. We need to be able to serve the members of our community who paid the ultimate sacrifice. End of discussion. That is the primary focus, not paying executives huge bonuses, paying executives benefits that they don't deserve. You need to cut that bull crap out. This money needs to go to our veterans. So hopefully I'll have a longer video, a little more updated video on all of Trump's nominees, but we just wanted to get this out there that the Senate now has confirmed Trump's VA Secretary, Doug Collins. So that's it for today, folks. I appreciate you tuning in.